What's going on, everybody?
Going
Welcome.
mad. I love that thing.
I do too, man. I do too. That's why I chose it. Um, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show that matters the most.
The show that runs
Why?
the show.
The show,
Show that runs the show.
the show that runs the show. The
Yeah,
faces that run the place.
that's it.
I am your host, Sean.
The podcast that all the podcasts aspire to be.
Hey, you know
It's the
that
show.
that's what it be like sometimes, man.
That's it. That's it.
I'm your co-host, Sean. We got Butch over here. How you doing, Butch?
Good, good, good.
Not to be confused with Pete Dunne.
Oh, fuck no. Oh, fuck
speaking
no.
speaking of Pete Dunne, before we dive into it, what do you think? What are your opinions on Pete Dunne's name change to Butch?
Dude, it's this is the unfortunate shit that is WWE.
Yeah.
You know, they do not like anyone to actually own anything
Yeah.
creatively. You know, you imagine, all right, if you don't know who Pete Dunne is, that you're really lost. You probably came across Pete Dunne if you're not familiar with him on the Indies in the UK. You came across him at the great. I loved it when they made these shows. You know, that putting these people from the Indies on the big scene, and you would see what they were like, and that was Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
But no, you can't have Pete Dunne. You're
Nope.
gonna have Butch.
Yep. Yep.
Butch.
I loved seeing Pete Dunne in NXT and NXT UK.
Mm.
I thought Pete Dunne was the absolute epitome of what British strong style was. The absolute epitome, and what WWE did to him when they called him up was absolutely fucking atrocious.
Mm. They made. You know, I don't like shitting on people in the industry because they do something I can't do.
Yeah.
You know, they do something. I might not be a fan of certain people in the industry and what they do and the style they do it in, but if you were to rank the vast majority of the WWE roster, Pete Dunne, and I'm talking in the aspect of wrestling, the ability to perform at a level, and I mean, a level. The guy's lost a lot of weight compared to what he was, but I
Right.
mean that also took away a lot of his strength. Okay, that took away a lot of his strength. But that guy was at a level that only die-hard wrestling fans will understand what I mean by that.
Yeah.
You know, he broke his ass like everyone has broke their ass doing, but he broke his ass in a British gym. You know, and if you've been to a British gym in terms of wrestling, a lot of guys in a very small area. It's hard. You know, not that it's not hard anywhere else, but in the UK, it's a small, it's an island compared to other countries,
Yeah.
and there are that many people trying to cut their teeth. You know, it's fucking hard to get noticed. Guys like Sheamus took him ages. Sheamus was working as a doorman, you know, Wade Barrett's exactly the same. Wade Barrett should have been a WWE champion.
Oh, hands down.
You know, and in my opinion, I don't know his health issues and stuff like that, but in my opinion, too good to be sat at a commentary table. He's fantastic at what he does, but if I was to see Wade Barrett walk out next week and reform a Nexus, I would mark the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now is the time for factions, but for me, Pete Dunne, any wrestler being renamed, if you built your career off your chosen identity, Who the fuck are WWE to take that away?
That's the same. That's how I feel
You know?
about. That's how I feel about Gunther / Walter.
Yeah.
That man
Yeah.
walked in to NXT UK with just his theme, and people were chanting Walter, Walter, right? And that's who he was. People fucking marked out. You could go to any building around the world and put Walter in there, and people are going to chant his name because the man created a legacy off of his name. And then
There are not many people that can go toe to toe with that man.
No.
And I'm putting him in a category with New Japan legends.
Yeah.
You know, that is his style, right? It's just something today, Sean, right? And I want to ask you this before we start on week, right? The question went, who retires Brock Lesnar?
It's a good question.
Who retires Brock Lesnar? I seen Braun Breaker, which I didn't think was a bad shout because Breaker is every bit and as good, if not better, than his father and his uncle.
Yeah.
I put him on that pedestal. I heard Seth Rollins' name mentioned. I don't see the sense in that somehow because that's kind of like replaying what's already been done.
Yeah.
But I'm sat there and I'm looking at all these comments and I'm reading copious amounts of people. You know, I'm not once, dude, not once did I read the name of the man we just spoke about.
And that's a shame. That man is in my opinion, he's the only person that should retire Brock.
Gunther is, you know, I don't think people realize just how young that guy is.
Oh yeah, isn't he in his 30s?
35, I think. You know, 35, and it's weird because when you look at some of the first images of that guy released, he was wearing pink shorts.
Yeah.
Okay, he was wearing pink shorts. He was breaking his ass. He wasn't in great physical condition.
No.
But there is no way. The guy was just a style in itself. He was kind of. For years, you've heard who slaps the hardest.
Yeah.
You know, who hits the hardest. And then you go and watch Walter versus Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah.
And you've got a guy there that is more than half of his size. Hammer and tail, chop for chop.
Yeah. Well, that's the same with him and Pete Dunne, or him and
yeah.
They
all they're all cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
And the majority of them are broke and bred in the UK or on a European scale, which is why I believe that I can't understand why they shelved NXT UK.
Me neither.
I can't understand it, and I know they're contemplating rebranding it in Europe, which okay, you know, no problems at all. But why shut the UK one? If it's a main more the merrier.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
well, I mean, UK encompasses a lot. It encompasses, Ireland, Wales, England.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's a breeding ground. It's a breeding ground. Having all of them countries that we've just said, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, having all them, then plus adding the likes of Spain, Italy, Austria, all these countries, you kind of, if you think about it, that could be the biggest brand in wrestling altogether.
It really could.
You know, that's just not picking the best of the bunch. That's Europe's a big fucking
Well, just think about it. What they're gonna do is pretty much what IWC is doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, and if they did that, in my personal opinion, IWC would be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would take IWC out of business, because unless they became a developmental brand for WWE, kind of like Ohio Valley Wrestling was.
I personally think we were talking about they were talking about this European NXT while the pandemic was it, which is probably why they closed the doors of the UK, because it made no sense because we were all on shutdown and closed down.
Yeah.
But I think the fact they brought Vince back, Vince was never a fan of NXT.
No.
Never.
He doesn't understand it.
He didn't believe in it. Vince doesn't know wrestling anymore. I don't want to hear from people that say Vince is the grandfather. Vince isn't the grandfather of wrestling. Vince is the grandfather of entertainment. That's
Yes.
it. His dad was the same.
Yep.
His dad was the same. You know? Ted Turner, exactly the fucking same.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And that was the problem. A lot of the problem with the industry, there was a fucking lot of entertainers, but there was no fucking wrestlers.
Yeah.
You know, now you see it, and it's completely opposite.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And Triple H being brought back and put in charge is a big. It's a thumbs up, people, because he's interested in changing the way shit works. I personally think, you know what, Tony Khan did the unthinkable and opened a forbidden door. I actually think Triple H should be all over that.
I personally think Triple H should be all over that, and I think that once Vince is completely done, like we're talking, his name is no longer on the ledger.
Eradicated.
Yeah, where his name is no longer on the ballot, where his name is no longer on the ledger. He doesn't have a piece of WWE at all. AEW and WWE should work together, because there are some fucking dream matches.
I that's exactly what I think. Why should one company try to take the power away from everyone else?
No, they shouldn't.
You know, why have WWE fans and AEW fans at each other's throats about who's the biggest, who's the best? It shouldn't be a competition. It should be, let's put fucking Kenny Omega, even though I don't believe Kenny Omega's anywhere near the fucking level that people put him on.
No.
Let's have Kenny Omega versus Seth Rollins. Let's not turn Will Ospreay into a bidding war.
Yeah.
Let's have Will Ospreay work where the fuck he wants.
Yeah, dude. And here's the thing. Like, we'll go into Omega real quick, and then we'll move on to what to the purpose here. Omega, in my opinion, I think that being considered the best in the world is a stretch. He fought against Okada, and he had how many? Like let's look, and we'll go by Dave Meltzer's 5-star rating. I fucking think that is stupid. But some of the Omega and Okada matches were the best matches that I have seen in professional wrestling in a long time. But that's before AEW, and that's before the likes of Danielson came back.
Yeah.
And the likes of some of the other matches, great fucking matches that we've seen. And we're not talking about high fly match. We're talking like, hands down, I think Zack Sabre Jr. and Danielson was the best professional wrestling match I have ever seen in my life.
And I wanted that for years.
Yeah. I feel like there's more that they could do with that, but I think that hands down is the best professional wrestling match I've ever seen in my life.
For me, New Japan have been dropping the ball for several years now in terms of, and they did it this time. They reverted back to the same old shit where we're going to see a Wrestle Kingdom repeat.
Yep.
Yeah, what they should have had in the fucking G1 was have Sabre Jr. win it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They weren't going to have Will Ospreay win it because Will Ospreay was at a contract dispute, same as Ibushi the previous year.
Yep.
The Sabre Jr. is a fucking pro wrestler, and he
Goddamn.
wants to be the man.
Yeah.
You know, and if that, you know, WWE tried to get him. Sabre Jr. weren't going to bow to an entertainment company.
No.
Sabre Jr. wasn't going to have anyone tell him he couldn't say the word fuck.
Yep.
You know, maybe now it'll change with Endeavor now owning the stripes and the threshold of can you bleed? Can you say fuck on the watershed? And how many kids will we offend? Well, I'm very much the guy that says fuck the kids.
Fuck all them
You know,
kids.
fuck the kids. I'm not interested in what kids want. You know,
Right.
that I grew up around it. No
Yeah.
one said that. You know, you can't say fuck in front of David because he's going to turn out to be a bad man.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on to some news that has been coming out. Whether it's from last week because we missed last Friday, that was my fault, y'all. I missed last Friday because I was taking a trip and I had a bunch of things that I had to take care of. So last week, Sting announced his retirement on Dynamite. He said that Revolution is going to be, I think it's Revolution or Full Gear, one of the two. The first
Revolution, yeah.
Revolution is going to be his last match ever, period, point blank, period. And he didn't do what he did at the at his WWE Hall of Fame induction and say, you know, the only thing that is guaranteed about Sting is there's nothing guaranteed. He said, this guaranteed is my last match.
Yeah. The only thing guaranteed is this is my last match.
Yeah. So, with that said, you know, and with all that said, and that's good and well, and I think that it's fucking about time Sting retires. I love Sting. He's one of my favorites of all time, but I think it's about time for him to retire. I want to see him go out, you know, the best possible way. Who do you think should be his last opponent?
Honestly, Taker.
Who?
Taker. I can't say anyone else.
Ooh.
I can't say anyone else because my feelings on that are Triple H. Yeah, okay. You know what? Whatever. I didn't enjoy the ending. I feel that was a Vince, not a Triple H.
Yeah.
There was no way were they going to put over Sting against the WWE legend. It had no place happening. It needed to be Taker versus Sting. We know that Taker was holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't believe it was Taker. I believe it was Vince. A lot of that was not letting him retire. Multiple concussions. You know,
In one
listen,
match.
I don't like talking about things like this. But if Taker doesn't develop some kind of dementia very, very early on, I'll be surprised because, you know, but having said that, I should be saying someone else to retire Sting, and the only other person would make sense would be Darby Allin. Okay, that would be the only one. But you know what? Do I believe Taker would do it if he had the opportunity? Yeah, but I also think you'd throw Edge's name into there.
Yeah.
There are options. There are options, and we know Sting isn't gonna, you know, say no to taking a bump. I mean, he took a bump with that fucking jumping off the fucking. He should never have been put in that position, or should have had to at that age.
No, so personally, like looking, I didn't even think of Undertaker at the time when I asked this question, but that's a good point.
I think if you put that question to AEW and you gave them, you know, a selection, but you put Taker's name in there, I would honestly say there would be questions. Yeah, but he's too old. But hey, fucking age don't matter when it comes to shit like that. Because I tell you now, if you put that in a 70 plus thousand arena, you're gonna sell fucking out.
That match alone, you don't even have to book another match.
No,
They can
no.
all be shit matches. You put Sting,
Mhm.
Undertaker on the bill, on the card for the main event.
And if
Nothing
you
else.
think about the name and the title, Revolution,
Oh, dude, yeah,
you know
yeah,
that if that was me, as a booker, and if that was me as an owner of a company wanting to put something that the other company couldn't fucking do and wouldn't do,
yeah,
that's what I would be doing. I would be reaching out to Taker to say, listen, do you want to do it?
yeah. Here's the
That,
other
that,
thing. Here's the other thing. How do you spin it to Triple H? How do you spin it to Vince? How do you spin it to anybody, even especially Undertaker when you reach out to him? Because look, man, like we know AEW loves to take shots at WWE. And from my understanding, Taker does watch the product. He does see what is happening. He knows, he's very up to date. He's talked about MJF, about how much he enjoys watching MJF.
Mhm.
How do you get that? How do you
Listen,
approach if you were Tony Khan, how would you approach that and say, "Hey, look, I would love to use Undertaker, just a one-off."
we got
Right.
a Legends contract, and he's got a Legends contract, and he's got that thing where he's on the road and he does the Taker show
Yeah.
on stage. Um, I listen. I don't know how you go about doing that, and I don't know how you how you kind of say, yeah, we got an idea.
Yeah.
After we just spoke about the opportunities of Forbidden Doors
Yeah.
and the fact that one guy no longer calls the shots in the biggest promotion in wrestling.
Yeah.
And if you're Tony Khan, you're going to go straight to the top and you're going to go to Endeavor.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to go to Endeavor and you're going to say, listen, I got an idea. We could all benefit from it. The fans could benefit from it. Dana White, dude. Dana White is a fucking guy that would wet his pants to that shit,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Oh, yeah.
And it's fantasy booking at its best. But I mean, what happens when you get to that point and everyone is wanting to retire Sting?
Yeah.
And then there is a moment in the ring where Sting likes to send you chills down your spine, with
Mhm.
his music. And you just hear the gong, gong. I got goosebumps now, motherfucker. Seriously,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that is the one noise that Sting never thought he'd fucking hear.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah, I mean, like you said, how do you go about doing it? It's just on that you've opened the door.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
You
Because
know,
that creates a working relationship.
possibles.
It has to be a working relationship between Endeavor and AEW, right?
Mhm.
That has to be a working relationship where, everything. And I'm saying, dude, like if that happens, if they reveal who Sting's fucking opponent is going to be at Full Gear, the last pay per view of the year, if they do that after the match, because I mean, to be honest, Sting and Darby and Edge, if Edge teams with them,
Mhm.
has to win that match leading into Sting's retirement. If they announce who, because AEW has a problem with keeping shit hush hush unless it's a debut. If they
Yeah,
announce who it is, good fucking god, right?
that's the problem I've got when I look at it is I'm going to like, how long have we got? How long have we got till that pay per view? How when is Revolution?
Revolution, I think, is in. It has to be in like February, maybe January. because
Okay, so
they do 5
we're,
pay-per-views.
we're talking Rumble to Rumble time. So it ain't fucking long. So I mean, thinking about that now, would I would say no, it ain't taken.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say you would need. I would say you would need a good amount of time. And I mean, I've seen Taker on TV recently, and he don't look like he's in training to do any sort of combat. You
No.
know, um, would I say that would stop Taker if it was offered to him? No, fuck no.
No. And even
You
then,
know,
from my understanding, Taker said straight up that if the opportunity
yes, he
presented
did.
itself,
Yeah, he did.
he
Yeah,
would
he did.
step back in the ring. But
You know, of
here's the thing. Tony Khan has all the money,
course he does.
you know. Um, and I'm pretty sure that if the price was right and fucking everybody signed off on it, that would be a thing. My only problem is I don't think that would happen. Because
It's
Tony
just,
Khan's too
it's
fucking proud.
yeah, yeah. Tony ain't Triple H. I believe if you ask Triple H honestly, what would have been the right ending for Sting, it would have been Taker.
Oh yeah.
Vince didn't want that to happen. He
No.
didn't want it.
No.
You know, he just didn't want to do that because that would have meant putting the two guys, one of the guys, two of the guys that Ric Flair puts on the pedestal, possibly above himself,
Yep.
it to a certain degree on what they brought to the business. You got to remember, them two guys took a hell of a lot of stress off Flair.
Oh yeah.
You know, they took a hell of a lot of weight, hell of a lot of stress off Flair, especially Sting. And you've seen that, you know what I mean? I touched me a bit because I was kind of like, did Sting actually know that? You know what I mean? Or was Tony Khan really treating it as a gift? Because Flair kind of looked quite fucking broken up, even when fucking Christian was cutting fucking deadly, deadly, promos on, you should have been dead 20 fucking years ago. You know, you need to thank God. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, he didn't do that. He didn't do that. You know, the only reason, I'll tell you why God exists, because you should have died 20 years ago. And I was like, whoa,
Yeah. Yeah. Christian is a savage.
get that man an escort out the arena because he could get killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Now, if they go the Darby route, and which is a safe bet, right? I think that would be a safe bet. Do you keep him face?
Yeah, you got to go heel.
He has.
You have to go heel. You have to go heel. And I actually do think if they go the Darby route, then they can hold off on the revealing.
Yeah.
If they go the Taker, then you've got to sell the tickets.
Yeah.
You know, and you're gonna put that in a fucking bit. Taker versus Sting is a 70,000+ arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Revolution's already been booked. I didn't think of that. It's already been booked. It's already got its venue. You know, but Darby, I really do think they're ready to pull the trigger with Darby.
They need to.
I don't like it because I don't like him. I don't like it because I don't like him. I think he's a walking, fucking, talking pincushion.
Yep.
And I've not got a lot of time for that shit in terms of just how much can I push the boundary tonight and almost kill myself and somewhat. No, I got no time for shit like that. It's not wrestling.
Yeah.
It's not wrestling. It's backyard shit. You know.
I mean, we seen what happened with Jeff Hardy, right?
That's it. That's it.
And we see what happens to these guys. British, I mean not British Bulldog, but god damn. British Bulldog's old tag team partner. We seen what happened with him. Dude was crippled. Right? Like At what fucking point does Darby say
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
enough?
yeah. I get fed up, but you know what, dude? This love, and we talk about these things, but I get fed up sometimes of hearing people say because we love it, and I kind of like I sit there and I think, fucking hell, you're
Yeah.
walking a tightrope between life and death.
Yeah.
Do you love your life? Do you respect the life that you were given more, or do you respect the life that could be taken away from you like that? And it might not be your choice.
Yeah.
I don't understand stuff like that. I mean, I respect the job they do, but sometimes I feel that terminology, we do this because I just feel it's a thing now that they have to say
Yeah.
in order for you to believe in them and the business that little bit more.
Yeah.
I do, however, think that Darby wearing a sling leaves it in a position where this goes down the road, right? This goes down the road. We know we're going to get Copeland versus Christian, okay?
Yeah.
3 versus 3 isn't going to be 3 versus 3 if Darby takes the sling off, revealing a bat or something, and caves it into the back of Sting's skull, leaving Christian with the still leaves him versus Edge. Edge Copeland. I fucking hate his name. Adam Copeland. But then you've got Sting on a shelf. Darby goes silent. He sits in the rafters.
Oh.
Darby goes silent. He sits in the rafters. You don't see Darby's face.
Yeah.
You just see the hood.
Yeah.
When it comes to the point where Darby takes off his hood and you've got Sting's face paint, but in a different, eerie way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on that note, I fucking hate it when I say one thing and then I say another and I put it into a story and I go, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
But that to me would be that's where Sting started with Darby.
Mm-hmm.
Is it right that that's where it ends? And I've just said I don't like Darby, but I feel Darby's grafted his ass off. No matter which way he's done it, he's broke his fucking back, quite literally.
Yeah.
To put the company on the map.
Yeah.
And MJF states 2024 is going to be the bidding war.
Yeah. So real quick.
MJF's already said he's going.
Yeah. One second. So I've been watching the feed because some of the comments don't come over to Restream where we're streaming from. So Chris Milson says it's a fitting name though. Copeland describes AEW's fan base.
Yeah.
Because they have to cope.
I've just you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and turn into a fucking anti-Edge Copeland because it's not about that. But what it turns into is the fact that when I look at it from a promotional fan perspective, they don't get him. They don't get him.
No.
It's a typical fantasy of Tony Khan's that honestly it just hasn't delivered.
No.
He's not Copeland, he's Edge.
Yeah.
And he's not a baby face. If you want to get the best out of fucking Adam Copeland, have him go off on one.
Oh, definitely.
Oh.
All right. So we're gonna stray away from AEW because we got other big news. Bound for Glory. Hold on. We got another comment that came through from Chris. He says, "Oh, I'm an Edge fan, just not a Tony Khan making a WWE made product, making it his own." Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. But Bound for Glory, man, there was a vignette that was cut. The vignette that was cut was very beautiful. I didn't watch Bound for Glory. I read through the comment or read through the results and everything like that. But it was all of the old TNA
Give them.
legends that gathered around in a meeting space, and they had a trunk, and they opened up the trunk and revealed that TNA is coming back in place of Impact. Wow, that's fucking huge, man. That's huge news.
You know, I just that I ain't watched, right?
Mhm.
I've tuned back in to Impact Wrestling on and off, not solidly, because I'm not going to turn around and support something I haven't supported. Forgot, because quite honestly, you know, having guys like PCO do things that he's doing, I just kind of, like I said, it's Darby Allin. I'm not about it, you know.
Yeah.
Bully Ray, can't stand the guy. Think he's an absolute dick. Tommy Dreamer has no place in any wrestling ring. You know, but when I watch that and I see, you know what, she's full of juice, Jordan Grace.
Yep.
She's full of juice. But that girl, wow. Wow. I'm telling you, she's something else. She's something else. I
Yeah.
mean, she dealt with Bully Ray,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, when I heard that, I just you can't fake it because I just had this little cheeky.
Yeah.
It was a natural smile that I was kind of like that Ric Flair slur with a tear in my eye, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was because there were only one wrestling company went out of business. Yeah, one wrestling company went out of business in 1999.
Yeah.
WWE bought them. Two companies were started in the early 2000s. TNA, Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor went out of business.
Yep.
Tony Khan bought it and has turned it into a shower of shit. Shower of shit. It doesn't represent honor anymore. It's a feeder fucking show like WWE Vince McMahon did with Velocity, Metal, Heat, fucking Saturday Night Main Events. What the fuck is main events about Saturday Night Main Events? Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing. But
Nope.
then I hear that in TNA and I'm like, you know what? And I hear the passion in Scott D'Amore.
Yep.
And I'm like, in 2002, while WWE was putting on some of its best material in the last 2 years, because the invasion angle was shit.
Yeah.
But we were
So,
watching something, and I was taken away from that.
Yeah.
By TNA.
Oh yeah.
You know, I was taken away. I was
Everything.
watching guys like CM Punk, fucking, you know, in the Children of the New Church.
Yep.
I was watching America's Most Wanted. I was watching Elix Skipper fucking walk the top of a cage. Hurricane Rana. Shouldn't be done.
No.
I was watching Joe Daniels, fucking, you know what I mean? And Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, first 5-star match in TNA, Unbreakable 2004.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What else did I like about 2004? Eddie Guerrero beating Brock Lesnar at No Way Out.
Yes.
But this was a company that was putting tag team wrestling back on the map. It was allowing smaller guys to stand out even above. They allowed the X Division title to be every bit as big.
Yeah.
Every bit as big.
Yeah.
And when did the downfall come of TNA? When they brought the likes of fucking Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Steiner, guys that shouldn't have been there.
Speaking of, Chris Milson made a comment that I'm going to address because it goes along with what you just said. This is an opportunity to turn the tide for TNA. No Hogan, no Dixie. I hope the best for them. And then he went on to comment that Ring of Honor 2023 is just AEW elevation, except nobody's watching, and that's true. But we're gonna go back to that first one. This is an opportunity for TNA to make an impact. Pun on words there. This is an opportunity for TNA to change the scope of what they used to be and what they are now, right? They're headed in a great direction. Scott D'Amore is doing amazing things with.
I love Scott D'Amore.
You know, but he needs to keep that toxic shit out of the locker room. He needs to keep Hogan out. He needs to keep all the fucking old timers out.
Yeah.
Don't give them a place. Keep Jeff Jarrett out. As much as I enjoy Jeff Jarrett, he was a fucking cancer in the locker room, and there was a whole bunch of bidding that was done by him. And but I will say, watching back and going back and looking at some of the old TNA content that on YouTube, Jarrett put a lot of people over. And as many reigns as he had with the NWA title and the Impact World title, or sorry, the TNA title, he put over the likes of Rhino, the dude that never had an opportunity.
Yeah.
Christian, Sting, Angle,
Styles.
Yeah, dude, Styles. Him and fucking Angle legitimately had a real life beef. And Jarrett put that aside for the betterment of the company because he realized what it would do. But you need to keep those dudes, those old timers out. Keep them the fuck out.
They've got a chance. They've got a chance to build off the pioneers that are there now. Your Kazarians, Kazarians. Bring Christopher Daniels back in. You know, these are guys that actually give a shit.
Yeah. I
mean, you know,
look at their champions now. They're singles champions, Alex Shelley and fucking Sabin. Like two of the originals that were overlooked for at the beginning of their existence, and those dudes are making splashes all over the fucking place.
You could say that these two guys, you know, not just them two guys, but you know, Josh Alexander for me is fucking, oh my Lord.
He's probably the most talented on their roster.
I just, you know, when I look at him, and it's the same with when he was a tag team with Ethan Page. You know, you go on about FTR thinking that they're the bee's knees, right?
Yeah.
You take that tag team and you put that tag team in any fucking promotion, and you ain't overlooking them.
No.
They didn't. They did what they could in TNA.
Yeah.
Page kind of rocketed. I didn't see it coming, but he did.
Yeah.
You know, he got his big chance, and again, overlooked. He's going back to TNA, mark my words.
You think he is?
Oh, 100%. They sent him to Ring of Honor, and and they were pushing him, but all of a sudden, he's taken. You know.
Yeah.
You just, what are you doing? I don't want to turn into an anti-Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Joe has no place being where he is in that company. Has no place at all. Like you just said, old guys, thank you for what you've done. If you can help in any way which doesn't bring any negativity, like a CM Punk.
Yep.
You know, CM Punk just needs to be left in Chicago and be a forgotten afterthought, because all that guy does is hurt the pockets of the company in terms of revenue. Yeah, okay, you're gonna sell out a bit, but how many people are you going to upset?
Yeah,
they're putting themselves back in that position now where they're going to be reborn.
Yeah, Chris Milson says, "Do you know who they fucked up? LAX, not Impact. LAX, not Homicide and what's his name, but Ortiz and Santana."
Yeah.
Well, from my understanding,
that's probably one I will say. Watch this space, but I would say that you're more likely to get Santana than get Ortiz, because there's personal beef between the two.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But I think with the term there right now, the possibilities for TNA are endless, and I'm really excited to see what they do and
Just
see
don't
where
bring the sex size back.
no,
Leave it
no.
alone.
That set them apart, but that's been so far. That's been gone for so long. I think bringing it back would hurt them.
I'd love to see King of the Mountain back.
Oh yeah. Oh, King of the Mountain would be awesome. King of the Mountain
And
would be
I
awesome.
would like to see Jarrett back though in some capacity. I don't know if it can be done. Can Jarrett kind of put his ego aside of being the guy and his dad who puts it where it is? I mean, I got to be honest. I didn't agree with Scott Demore name dropping Dixie Carter because she fucked up.
She fucked them. She fucked them.
You know.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna move on. Last little bit, I want to touch on WWE real quick before we shut down shop. They are teasing, and I don't know if it's us reading into it too far, but they are teasing that Drew's gonna join the Judgment Day. Do you think, in your heart of heart, that Drew is gonna join the Judgment Day?
I watched Mommy's little go back into his set, and you know, you're just a champ. And you could be the champ,
Yeah.
you know. And he goes on about Drew and things like that. Listen, Drew is a dark, dark man. Drew is a dark, dark man. I look at the way Drew stands, conducts himself, and every bit of me, I just think it's a punishment to see Drew McIntyre in a position where, you know, he's got to bow and make the fans go, oh, yeah, go Drew, he lifted the fucking sword, fuck the sword.
Yeah.
You know, I got no time for that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I loved him as a heel in Impact Wrestling.
Yep.
The question is how does it? I don't want to say it can't be done, and every little bit of me thinks Mammy thinks she pulls the strings, and I'd like to think that it would have some cool angle, like, you know, this isn't your briefcase, this is our briefcase.
Like we talked about.
Yeah, and she just kind of like picks it up and she just gives it to Drew, or something happens, right, where Seth is in the ring with Drew. Something's already happened, and she just gives the briefcase to Drew.
Mm.
You know, you get Drew, finish him.
Yeah.
You know, and then you kind of got the fallout. So that wasn't his briefcase. You know, and then you get the point where they take out Priest.
Yeah.
I don't actually think that would benefit Priest in any way because I don't think he's got it in him. I love Damian Priest.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's at that point where a face turn or some sort of would kind of, you know, catapult him to a level above where he is now, which is what you would think having this kind of payoff would do to him. I don't think it does benefit him. I think it just puts him back in no man's land, back in the mid-tier.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's I don't know. I don't know. I do think, though, that putting Drew in that position, on paper, Judgment Day is the best faction going. You know, Bloodline has run its course; it's holding on for dear life, unless you bring in new blood to the Bloodline. You know, but
Yeah.
I don't. I actually think now, when you look at it, you know why the Bloodline was successful was because of Sami Zayn, Jay. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why. You know.
Yeah. So
But
Chris,
Dom and Rhea are possibly the reason Judgment Day stands out so much.
here we go. So Chris sent some comments over, and he said Drew being a part of a heel stable would help him a lot, but that's also because he's a charisma vacuum, in my opinion. I agree. Then he said, "What if Damian were to turn on Dom, the most hated man in the industry right now?" Instant babyface reaction.
Priest for me has teased a lot over the last couple of months
Yeah.
in terms of not liking JP McDonough, Mr. Devlin. He's
Finn.
gone against everyone in the Judgment Day in terms of this is not what this isn't gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
And then he's being told you can't cash the briefcase in tonight. You're back,
Yeah.
you're back. I just, I mean, I like I do like what you're saying, because it's kind of like, for once I'm looking at it and I can't go, oh yeah, it's just so predictable. It ain't predictable. It's gonna turn into like a fucking Columbo fucking episode.
I have something that's gonna blow your mind.
Blow my mind.
Okay, so what if, and I know these are all hypotheticals, like we're talking in hypotheticals here. We talked about the idea of it's not your briefcase, it's our briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
What if Judgment Day goes in there and beats the absolute dog shit out of Seth, and he's laying in the middle of the ring, and Mommy cashes it in on Seth, and she becomes fucking weight champion?
Do you know what?
Who is gonna fight Mommy for that?
I would mark out like a little boy.
Who the fuck? Who the fuck would take? Who the fuck would fight Mommy for that championship? Nobody.
Dude, it's just Jordan Grace territory, isn't it?
It is.
You're looking at Impact now, and you are thinking it. They're gonna put the belts on her.
Well, that's what they did with Tessa Blanchard, but Tessa
Exactly.
Blanchard,
Gonna put the belts on her, and it's the same when you look at Rhea. Rhea now is a specimen.
Oh my god!
Yeah. She is the ultimate. Wait for it, people. She is the ultimate wet dream.
Chris said I would fight Rhea respectfully.
She is the ultimate wet dream, in my opinion. The woman is gorgeous. Ability endless. You know what, right? Women's wrestling is in a position now, all across every promotion, where you can now go, you know what, women's wrestling is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just keep Tessa Blanchard at home.
Yeah, except for
well, they should have left Nia Jackson home.
Right.
Right. Yes. But listen, we're gonna see, and I think it'll come in Saudi.
Yeah.
I can't see him. I can't see him kind of delaying now this cash in.
Dude, Saudi, the Saudi blood money shows have really done some wild things, right? If you look back, it's where the Fiend beat Seth. That's where Undertaker returned and beat AJ in the fucking tournament. Shane McMahon filled in for an injured Miz, right? And that created that whole thing. Saudi show, like a lot of
people been putting on some good shows.
Oh, dude, everybody shits on the Saudi shows, but they've been putting on some.
They just think it's that, don't they? You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm going to say? It's fucking ignorance. Ignorance is best. It's because these people live over the other side of the world, and you never really hear about just how much that they love wrestling. I'll tell you what, the standard and the growth and the interest from the likes of India is fucking huge.
Yep.
Huge.
Yep. All right. We're gonna look at the card that we have so far for Saudi, and we're gonna run down the list of matches, and we're gonna give our best guesses on what we think is gonna happen in that match. You down for it?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we got all right. Crown Jewel all matches. All right, here we go. So first, geesh. All right. So we got Seth and Drew. I think we talked about this already, and we came to the conclusion. Do you think Drew takes it, or do you think Seth retains and then somebody and then
I think I don't know what I think. It's so difficult because of what Rhea's done in the last week. If you'd have asked me honestly before that, I'd have given you a completely different answer.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. It's not predictable.
No.
I'm on the fence. All I'm gonna know is I'd like to. If something doesn't happen involving what we've said, I'm gonna be pissed. You're gonna see a different me next fucking Friday.
All right. So next we got the
Rollins will
five-way.
take it.
You think I think Rollins is going to take it, but I think that he's not safe from the cash.
No.
And I think that somebody's going to cash in, but I don't know who. Chris says he thinks Seth will retain to the Rumble. It's good educated guess.
What if Dum Dum cashes it and fucks it up?
Dude, Dom cashes in. I'm fighting a small child. All right. Okay, so next we got Mommy versus Nia. We got the fatal 5-way for the women's championship. And who do you think is going to take it?
Rhea doesn't keep it.
You don't think Rhea keeps it? Who do you think takes it?
Do you know what? I'm gonna put one out there, and you ain't gonna see it coming. I'm gonna go with Zoe Stark.
That's a good one. It's a good one. I would love to see Shayna B take it. I'm a huge Shayna B fan. She's an amazing human being in real life. And I would love to see Shayna B. Chris says Dom for champion. Let's go. And he also Rhea retains.
I'd be happy with it. I would. I'd be happy with it.
Yeah. All right. So you're locking in with Zoe Stark.
I am, yeah.
For the Dark Horse. I'm going with Shayna B. Chris has got Rhea. All right. So next we're going in with Roman versus LA Knight.
Roman.
You know, Booker T said that this is the time that they have to pull the trigger on LA Knight, and I think that they pushed him too soon if they wanted him to be a fucking megastar. I don't think he's going to be buried if he loses to Roman, but this is definitely going to hurt the momentum that he has.
I don't want to, I don't want to shit on him, man. I really don't want to shit on him because
okay, we won't shit on LA Knight.
I just don't think that he's got no more than a 2-3 pay-per-view running him with that title. I think agree. once you call it and give him it, I don't think he's got a hell of a lot in him to kind of go, yeah, dummy, yeah. You know, I think it'll just get pretty boring, pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know.
So Chris says Roman retains easy. LA Knight can get over without going over. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And yeah, I agree with that. I think that they'll bring in a new member of the Bloodline, so they might be calling up Ava Raine, I think.
Well, I know that quick one. I know that they are ready to pull the trigger with Cross as well.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Cody versus Damian Priest. I think Cody goes over. Cody and if they're gonna pull the trigger, if you've looked like in some of the cash-ins where people have cashed in later on in the night, with the exception of like cashing, like the cash in at Money in the Bank, I think that the people that lose, like the person that holds the title, loses that night
You're not
and
going
then
to
goes
have.
to cash in.
You're not going to have Cody Rhodes lose the match because he's got a dodgy knee when he wrestled with a fucking torn fucking pectoral off the bone
Yeah.
in a match of that caliber with Seth Rollins. No. You know, Priest, this could probably, this, depending on where the matches are positioned on the night, if Priest loses before said Drew, it depends where they put that Drew versus Seth match.
Yeah.
That will tell the tale.
Yeah. If it's main event, then
You
we know
know,
that there's a
that will
person
tell the
won.
tale. I can't see Damien beating Cody.
Ooh, Chris says, "What if the bloodline cost Cody the match?"
You know, we're gonna see because I think this we're led to believe that Cody's gonna be main eventing Mania.
Yeah.
You know, in recent months, I don't know. I just don't know.
No.
You know, I would like to see Cody be the one that beats Gunther. If I'm honest,
I mean, yeah, that'd be awesome. So Chris said, "What if the bloodline cost Cody the match?" I think that is a very viable option because the bloodline and Judgment Day have been going back and forth
Mm.
with helping each other. All right, so the next match, and I'm really excited to talk about this one: Ray versus Logan Paul for the U.S. Championship.
I fucking hate myself for what I'm about to say.
I know exactly what you're about to say, and I'm thinking it too.
Do you know what? And a little bit of me will mark out for it. It's Logan. Dude, it's time. It's Logan time.
God, I want Logan Paul to win so much. And
It's
I said
Logan
this,
time, dude. It's Logan
God,
time.
I was laying in bed and we were watching Raw, and my girlfriend was like, "You want Logan to beat Ray?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I do."
Dude, how good
And
is
she said, "Why?"
Logan Paul, dude, on a mic and in front of the camera?
But here it is. Logan getting the title needs to happen from Chris. I agree. What I want to see happen, I want to see Santos turn on fucking Ray. I want it. Give it to me now. I think that could be the thing that leads Logan to win, right? Because Logan's had wonky finishes for the most part, and keep it going, keep it going. Santos turns on Ray, costs him the match, and then Logan goes over with the title,
I just
and then that could lead Ricochet to go to SmackDown and challenge Logan for the title.
they're definitely I mean the issue obviously between Samantha and Logan definitely puts more of a kind of focus on future Ricochet
Yeah.
versus Ray can't go with Logan Paul, dude. I fucking hate myself for saying that. Ray can't go with Logan Paul, or I'm going to call him Prime Time Logan Paul.
Yes. Chris says Santos is 1,000% better as a heel, and I agree. And
Santos is the man.
he said LWO turns on Ray, Carlito becomes the new leader.
Santos Escobar is the man. He was fucking awesome in Lucha as
Oh yeah.
Cueto. He was awesome when they brought him into NXT. His theme music is awesome. His entrances are awesome. He's no baby face.
Fuck no.
And then
They
we
should
get Santos versus Carlito.
Oh, that would be good. I would like that. All right. So the last match that they have on the card right now, but I think there's another match, maybe, is they've got Cena versus Solo. You know what? I'm gonna say this right now, and I have not been a Cena fan for the longest. Chris knows that. Anybody who has interacted with me in years, for as long as I've been a wrestling fan, knows that I haven't been a John Cena fan in a long time. But I am a fucking fan of Cena now. But saying that, I'm gonna say this: Cena needs to take the L to help elevate Solo. Now, Solo doesn't need it, like, he doesn't have to go over, but that would solidify Solo as a fucking threat.
I love Solo.
Yeah.
I love Solo. And I hate John Cena.
Okay.
I hate John Cena with a passion. I just hate the fact that he's had like more appearances, right? This is fact. He's had more appearances at pay-per-views, right, in the last 4 than Gunther. What the fuck? I mean, come on. Gunther has not appeared in the last 3.
Yeah.
Come on. Seriously.
Yeah.
I just want to see Samoan Spike to the throat. Done.
So Chris says Cena and motherfucking Solo, bro. It's Umaga all over again. I'm so happy seeing this. Solo goes over for sure. Even if he doesn't win, Solo could be elevated so hard. I agree wholeheartedly.
Do they have it in them, right? Do they have it in them to take the title off Roman before Mania next year?
No,
And
no, they should.
if they do take the title off Roman, I say we will get Solo versus Roman.
Yeah.
In some degree.
Yeah, I think so too. Or if he does lose at Mania, he loses because it's like a repeat of this past Mania where Solo gets in the corner and Cody has Roman set up for that fucking for the crossroads and he backs him into the corner just like this past year. But Cody remembers and he remembers losing, so he fucking lets Roman go and Roman eats the spike.
I'm telling you, it's just Solo is a Paul Heyman guy. Paul knows Solo has been the one that's been the real right hand.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Chris says
he won't be overlooked for much longer.
no. Chris says taking the title off of Roman before Mania would be insanely bad for business. I agree. Solo versus Roman at Backlash. I think that would be a thing. Maybe you could even do the Raw after WrestleMania and have like Roman and Solo fucking talking it out, or Roman like says, "Oh, you didn't mean to do that," and then Solo fucking spikes him right there in the ring.
I love it. I love the fact that Chris is saying exactly what is correct.
Yeah.
You know, Roman Reigns gets shit on. Still gets shit on. Longest reigning world champion ever. And it just shows he doesn't defend his title. He doesn't have to.
Fuck no. And that's what's so
doesn't have to. That's what makes it so heelish, is the fact that you don't like it.
My problem that I have with the anti-Roman marks, and I'm gonna say this, I don't like to talk bad about other wrestling fans. My problem with the anti-Roman marks is that they wanted him to win. They wanted him to take the fucking title. They wanted him to continue to keep the title. They wanted long-term storytelling. They begged for it because WWE before Roman hadn't done a great job at long-term storytelling. They got the long-term storytelling. They're breaking records. They broke a record for the longest reigning women's championship period with Bianca and with Gunther. And now, because Roman is on this stride to be the longest reigning champion ever, beating Bruno, they don't like it and they don't want it. They say it's fucking boring. I will say in my opinion, the Bloodline story is getting lackluster. And it got lackluster a while ago, but it really got lackluster when Jimmy cost Jay the championship, right?
I'm about to see. I'm so bitter about that.
Me too. Me too.
I'm so bitter.
All right. So Chris says, "What if this happens? The prediction you had with Solo hitting Roman in the corner after Cody wins. Solo stands over Roman to close the show with Paul Heyman in shock." Whew.
I'm telling you, I just don't see. Over recent months, we've seen Roman not poke and prod, but order. Never a thank you. Never any. You know what I mean? He overlooked him for Jay. Jimmy's now back. Jimmy's
Yeah.
trying to prove his worth. Solo will turn soon.
Dude,
And,
they are going to hit a fucking home run at WrestleMania
but
if they turn Solo on
but
Roman.
the major rumor is Roman turns face.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is that I constantly keep coming across that, and that just seems to be. I've always lived by it for years of podcasting with wrestling, and I've always had this kind of thing. In order for you to truly make that true connection with the wrestling world, you have to first piss them off.
Yeah.
True heel, true face. Cena done it. They've all done it. Rock done it. Stone Cold done it. Rock done it. If you can impact people by having them really despise you on that moment when you turn out to be that nice guy, Hogan done it, dude. Savage done it. Do you know what I mean? When you make that moment to kind of go, you know what? Enough's enough. The reaction will be like no other.
So Cena confirmed that he's going to be around for a while.
Okay.
Dude, and this is my thinking, right? Because he's bouncing between Raw and SmackDown. And I know you don't like Cena.
I want to put my hands
No,
over me ears. I don't want to hear you say they're going to put the
just
title on him.
no. Just hear me out. Cody's in the ring celebrating his fucking victory on the Raw after WrestleMania with the championship, and there's a big celebration, much like they did the celebration with Sami Zayn and Kevin
There you
Owens in
go.
NXT. There's a celebration. Everybody's in the fucking ring celebrating with Cody, right? They escort Cody out and Cena, but Cena's in the ring and he's kind of giving his graces to Cody. He pulls Cody in and fucking AAs him, turns heel right there. I would mark the fuck out. And I know that a lot of people say, "Oh, Cena doesn't need to turn heel."
I did say
Oh,
to you, didn't we? We had this conversation
yeah.
on our last show, and I said to you the one thing in wrestling that needs to be done very, very soon is a change that no one likes and no one sees coming. And WWE have always kind of said that Cena will never turn heel because of Vince.
Cena,
Merchandise. Listen, right?
Cena, Cena has had heel merchandise ready to go, heel
Yeah.
gear.
Yeah. I'm telling you, to me, it's the best thing you could. Dude, I would be the ultimate ambassador, front row, sat next to a kid crying. I would piss myself laughing at that child. You know, I would hand him his first tissue to cry into. You know, John Cena to
Special
do
kid.
that before he retires is the completion of his career.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that he forms a stable or he joins a heel stable like Judgment Day?
No, John Cena's a loner, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Cena's a
definitely.
loner. Listen, I know we've always seen that kind of John Cena, NWO. I would mark out for the NWO. We know how successful the LWO's been, and having
Yeah,
someone like John kind of put over the new guard,
yeah.
eventually leading to Cena being kicked out. Maybe.
So Chris says 2017 Cena, if you think about it, was a very aggressive babyface, if you will. He was basically a heel without being a scumbag. He roasted Roman, AJ, and Ambrose, and
Mhm.
like so many more. I agree. I agree. He had those heel tendencies, but he was a face. So, all right. Any last imparting words before we shut this shit down?
Done. It's done. Told you.
Oh, if you haven't checked it out, and I know this might be a little callback, and I only remembered this because she was on Raw, Nikki Cross. If you listen to her song and what was the group that she was in again in NXT? Sanity. If you listen to Sanity's music, it's very inspired by Primus.
All right. Okay.
I kind of was like my dad and I were listening to some Primus earlier this week or last week, and there's a song called "I Am Dirt" or something like that, and the intro is
Yeah.
like yeah, and I was like, dude,
That sounds like
that is
Sanity's entrance. Yeah.
I was like very very
I
inspired.
love Sanity. I love Sanity. And it pissed me
Oh,
off the fact that they brought Vince back at the time that they'd re-signed Eric Young.
yep.
And that is apparently why Nikki Cross has never been really brought back to TV as quick.
Yep.
Well, and the Authors of Pain apparently have been signed for like 2 years and we've not seen them. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
But anyways, everybody, it's about that time. We're gonna wrap things up. We're gonna shut down shop. I am one of your hosts, Sean. This is my bro Chacho, Butch.
so Chacho.
Bro Chacho. We hope you have a good weekend. Have a happy Halloween. Don't fuck around and find out. We know what happens there.
We know
Much.
everything.